Hi everyone, welcome back to another of my videos. So this one isn't a Halloween video, but I kindly had someone that would allow me to video. So this one is a watch me work video. So I'm starting out by putting on the nail tips. So the nail tips I'm using in this video are from Glitter Planet and it's their clear easy tips. So as you can see, I apply the glue on the tip itself and then I apply an activator onto the natural nail. That way the glue it works instantly and I don't have to flap about holding tips on until the glue has set. It literally just does it instantly. So I use this whether I'm doing it on natural nails or if I'm doing it on any of my training hands. So this part of the video is where I would normally ask someone what length they want their nails. So usually they either go for a 3 or a 4, and I made this little like credit card sized tip sizer, and it just means that whenever I mark it on all the nails are cut at exactly the same length. So now that I've got all the nail tips on, the next stage to do is to remove the shine off all the tips and just make sure that they are nice and tapered in and that there's nothing sticking out on the natural nail. I always call them like the little ears of the tips, which is the points of the tips that stick on. Sometimes at the sidewalls they do have a tendency to stick out, so I always like to go in just with my mandrel bit and just flatten those down, and it just gives you a smoother surface to work from. Sometimes, even though I've used the easy tips from Glitter Planet, sometimes in the client's mind they're not tapered in enough for a coffin shape. So here I'm just going to taper them in a little bit more and just make them look more of the shape that my client wants. So now that I've removed all the dust and debris, the next stage of our prep process is to apply our Dehydrator and our acid-free primer. So there is an acid primer that you can get as well, and you would use that on clients that would maybe be persistent lifters. Just for the record though, Glitterbels, I'm not aware that they do an acid primer, so the one that I have is from a different brand. But as long as you follow the correct prep procedures and you remove any of that excess cuticle and any of that dead skin around the nail bed, and obviously on top of the nail plate, you should not have to use an acid primer. An acid-free one should be enough. So some clients will lift for many reasons. Their nails will lift for many reasons. A lot of it can do down to medication, down to their age, the health of their nails as well. If they are the type of client who continually would like pull their nails off and want a new set every time they come in, their nails are going to be so much weaker than if they're removed professionally and a new set put on. So just take all of that into consideration. Also their jobs, you know, if they have their hands in water all the time, like hairdressers, barbers, the hand sanitizer used by healthcare staff, and really all of us at the minute, all has an impact on the longevity of our nails. So while I was explaining all of that, I had already applied all my primer, etc. So now before I lay down any colour, you need to lay down a clear acrylic base. That way whenever your client is coming in for infills, or if they're wanting a redesign, I can file down just to that clear base and I'll not have to do a new set every time. Also, by putting down that clear base can prevent the nails from lifting as much. Sometimes also the coloured acrylic can stain the natural nail, and I know that from personal experience. I think going back to the summer, I did a yellow nail set. I was doing some bumblebees, and that yellow stained my nails for weeks. I just couldn't get it off. So yes, so by placing down a clear base, that can help prevent staining and stop the nails from lifting as much. So I'm keeping this part of the video in real time just so that you can see the acrylic application and roughly how long it takes me to do it. So once I start getting into the coloured acrylic application, it will drop down to real time. I'm going to start out on the little finger, and I'm going to go in with Hot Chocolate from Tia's Beauty. So this is a lovely shimmery brown colour. So as you can see, I'm working quite wet and I'm working quite close to the cuticle, as close to the cuticle area as I can get, and then I'm doing a swipe down towards the free edge. So I'm making sure I'm just working it right around the cuticle and the side walls, but trying not to flood the cuticles or the side walls, and then I'll go in with another bead and blend it up to that first bead until I've completely covered the whole of the nail. So when you're working with coloured acrylic, you need to be working really thinly. It's almost as if you're painting it on the nails. That way whenever we go to cap it with a clear acrylic, our nails won't be overly thick. So the little finger was a full coverage of that Hot Chocolate, and I've moved on now to the middle finger, and again I'm going in with that Hot Chocolate, and I'm just going to put it over the nail bed area itself and then blend it down just to fade it out onto the glass tip. So whenever I'm doing a full set of nails and I'm using different colours, I will use the first colour on all the nails that I need to use it on, and then I'll go back in and use all the other colours. So onto the thumbnail now, and this is going to be a full coverage of that same Hot Chocolate. So this video is a bit different because you will get to see me work on two hands, not just my one hand or my trailing hands. You get to see the whole set being done. So it is quite a long video, especially because the acrylic application is in real time, but I do speed up whenever it starts to come to the filing and shaping, which I don't show at all, again just to keep the length of the video down. And then also whenever I'm placing my rhinestones on, I don't have it in real time as well. So again, with that first bead up at the cuticle area, I tucked it in and making sure that it was as close to that cuticle area and the side walls, but not flooding it. And I'm still working really, really thinly. You can see how thin that acrylic is. So whenever I go in then to cap it with the clear acrylic, my nail isn't going to look thick. So moving on now to the other hand, and while I'm still using that hot chocolate, I'm going to repeat the process that I did on the previous hand. Okay, so now that I've finished with the hot chocolate, I've put it in all the nails that I need to. I'm going back to the first hand and I'm going to in with a marble. So I'm going to use, it's called, let me remember what it's called. It's called butterscotch. So yeah, I'm going in with butterscotch and glass slippers just to create the marble. When doing a marble, you want to make sure that your first bit of acrylic you lay on that nail is up around the cuticle area, just to get that area really neat and tidy. So then I go in now with my wet beads. So I'm only using 2 colours, so it's just the clear and that butterscotch. And then just using the tip of my brush, I'm just pushing it about the nail plate. Just making sure that it goes right to the side of the nails, that there's no gaps. And then I'll move on to the next beads and just work my way down the nail plate to the free edge. Now that I've got to the end of the nail, I'm going in now with Broken Gold, which is one of my favourites from Glitterbels. It was in the first order that I ever placed and I absolutely love it. So I'm just placing 2 lines of the Broken Gold just to break up that marble. Onto the middle finger now, and I'm going to start off from where I finished putting the hot chocolate, and I'm doing the same marble that I did on the ring finger by using glass slippers and the butterscotch. And I will also go in and use the Broken Gold as well, but I will only put it where the transition is from the hot chocolate to the marble. Onto the pointer finger now, and this one is very similar to what I've done on the middle finger, though instead of putting the Broken Gold just where the marble starts and the hot chocolate ends, I'm actually going to do it in a sweeping motion. Now that I've finished placing all the acrylic on this hand, I'm going to move over to my other hand and just start to apply the same pattern. As it's just the same that I'm doing on the other hand, I'm not going to talk through the second hand application, I'm just letting you watch it. So why not grab yourselves a cuppa or a coffee and sit down and watch the rest of the video. Or you can say it as we do in our little country, and it's let's grab a wee cup of tea. So I'm back. I've applied all the coloured acrylic and all the broken gold that's going on the nails. So the only thing that's left to do is to go ahead and cap the nails with the glass slippers. So we need to cap the nails because the coloured acrylic itself just isn't strong enough to stop the nails from breaking. And because I've applied it so thinly, you definitely need to cap them just to make sure that the nails don't break. So again, as I'm doing this across all 10 nails, I'm going to go ahead and let you watch them and enjoy whatever drink it is you're drinking. So now that all the nails have been capped and that glass slippers has fully cured, it's time to do the filing and shaping. So as always, whether I'm working on a client's hands or whether it's my practice hands, I always start at the side walls to make sure they are nice and straight. Then I go to the lower arch, I make sure they're nice and straight. If they're not straight, your nail is not going to be symmetrical. So this is why I start at those 2 points always, because if your sides aren't straight, your free edge won't be straight as well. So once I've done all of that, I'll go around the cuticle area, making sure that that is nice and flush, and then I'll go over the rest of the nail and taking out any obvious lumps and bumps. So usually when I've been working with coloured acrylic as well, once I'm happy with the shape and that of using my hand file, I will swap over to my e-file to go around the cuticle area, and then I'll finish off by using a buffer. So just to keep the length of the video down, I'm only going to show one of the hands being filed and shaped, and then I'll move on to applying the top coat. So now that I've finished using the hand file, I'm going to go in around the cuticle area with my fine 5-in-1 e-file bit. Again, this is available on my website and I will put the link to it in the description box below. Now that I've got all the filing and shaping done, I've wiped all the nails over with some alcohol just to remove any of the dust and debris, and now it's top coat time. So once I've applied the top coat, there's not much more work to do with this set. It's just to apply a few rhinestones. So I have shown one of the hands with the rhinestones being placed on the nails, and then that would be that set done. So I thought it would just be nice to finish this little set with a few of these gold rhinestones. So as I said, this video was a little bit different to what I normally would do, so please pop it in the comments if this is something that you'd like to see more of, and I'll try and do that for you. But here is the finished set. So I hope you have enjoyed the video. I know it was a bit long, but I just thought I would do both hands for a change. So for those of you who haven't subscribed, why not hit that subscribe button now, and I will be back tomorrow with another Halloween video. So take care, see you soon, bye.